Hello, Sarah Klein for more Yoga Sutras. This week brings us to 1.3. Tada drashtahu svarupe vashtanam. This is such a beautiful and sweet sutra and such an important reminder again and again and again. Tada, then, when we are in this experience, this state of consciousness that is yoga, which we defined last week as yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is an experience of a still state of consciousness. Then when we're in that, this is really pointing to the outcome of yoga. When we are in that experience of yoga, we re-establish in our essence, our true nature, that which is eternal within us, that life force coming through us, that which is whole, which is our essence, and which is connected ultimately to something bigger and to each other. So let's break it down word by word. As I said, tada is then, which is pointing to its building off of our last sutra. Tada drashta, which is the seer, the self with a capital S, or the witness. Sva is one's own. Rupa means form. So this is pointing to we're coming in to one's own true essence, one's natural form. Avashtanam means to drop into, to reestablish, to dwell, to reside, to be in. So again, the definition of 1.3 is, and then at last, finally, we drop into our essence, our own true form that is unbound by the burdens of self-limiting beliefs and chatter of the mind. So let's break this down a little further. So we tend to get entangled, and this is really the path of yoga. The path of yoga is to iron out the web of sticky thoughts. And when we get entangled in the material world, we really miss the point. And we think we are the body. We think we are the mind. We think we are the identities that we play in this life. We think we are the outcome of our achievements and the outcome of our failures. And when we're in that, we're vrittiing. Right? And we're really shadowing this essence that is within. And what this sutra is pointing to is that this essence we all have, this spark of life, this life force flow that is beyond the container of the mind and the body. And so the sutra is saying, hey, reestablish and remember and reclaim that piece and spark of you. Don't get lost in the web of sticky thoughts. You are more than that, so much more. So how does this work? Well, in the method of yoga, in all of these methods, all of these many varying practices that we do, they are designed to tone the nervous system and give the practitioner the opportunity to really settle within the mind and the body. And as we start to settle and drop in, we find space. And in that space, can we start to experience the space between the fluctuations of the mind, the space between the dialogue of the mind, the space between the waves. And Patanjali is pointing to ultimately what resides there, this essential nature of you that is eternal, that is a spark of light, that is really beyond this material plane. And so what yoga is offering us is really methods to trick the mind into the present moment so we can start to feel into that space between the thoughts and the achievements and the accomplishments and the failures and all that we get stuck within. So tada drashtahu svarupe vashtanam. At last, we can come back home and reestablish in our innate nature, which is brilliant, whole, and luminous. And in that state, there's nothing to prove. There's nothing you have to do. A matter of fact, it's all a practice of undoing to get to this space. What is blocking that innate light from coming through you? What shadows are blocking it? What self-limiting beliefs, what stories are blocking it? And really, the practice of yoga is to pull, cleanse, clear that stuff off so we can really be free. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope this landed for you. If it does, please share it with someone who it might also land for. And comment and let's start a conversation about this. This is really such a sweet and beautiful sutra. And these first 4 sutras of this first chapter are really the bedrock of the experience of yoga. And so as we travel through this chapter together, if you stick with me for 2025, then we're going to keep remembering and coming back to these, because really the rest of the book explains how and the and you know, like nuances within, but to come back to this one, which is really what we're aiming for here, is to reclaim and remember our innate brilliance and let that shine forward. And when we miss the point, to come back to that knowing. Okay, thank you so much for watching.